We begin this hour in the Western Cape, where judgment is expected in the trial looking into the disappearance of Joshlin Smith. Earlier this week, state prosecutors and defense lawyers wrapped up their closing arguments in the matter. The child's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacquen Appollis, and his friend, Stevano van Rhyn, are facing charges of kidnapping and human trafficking in connection with the little girl's disappearance last year. The court's ruling will bring some form of closure to a painful chapter for the community of Middlepos Settlement, even though many there still have so many answers or questions about what happened. Let's get you a sense of what to anticipate and bring in SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah, who joins us now live from Saldanha Bay. And Vanessa, in fact, the courtroom moved to that community to allow the area or residents there to follow closely this trial, and it's really been something to witness as we watched how many of them came through day in and day out to see how all of this unfolded.
Yes, good morning to you. And indeed, when we spoke to some of the residents as well as supporters outside the White City Multipurpose Hall, where the Western Cape High Court is sitting and has been for the past 2 months in this trial, they were telling us that those that couldn't be here physically also followed SABC online. Of course, our live stream that brought the viewers all the latest with regards to this trial as and when it happened. I can tell you that at the moment I'm standing right in front of the entrance to the hall. And there you will see that members of the public are already now being allowed to enter this premises. Of course, earlier on, we know that Judge Nathan Erasmus did say last week that, as a matter of fact, earlier this week, he did say that there would be reserved seating for family members of the accused as well as family members of Joshlin Smith. We see, and we've seen all morning, people like the very ones you see on the screen right now coming through with the picture, with the face, with the image of Joshlin Smith, of course, emblazoned upon it. And you've said there just now that residents of Middlepos, Saldanha Bay, but really South Africa, still have many unanswered questions, because as we know, and as the state pointed out in their closing argument, that this is a first of its kind case in South Africa when it comes to human trafficking, where the person, the victim, is usually the main source of information, the main witness. In this case, the 6-year-old Joshlin Smith is indeed still missing. Of course, we saw what happened over the past 2 months is that people had come out in front of the gates here at the multipurpose centre, and they had daily prayer meetings. And just now, of course, we also saw people still praying. There has been a system whereby people who had been following this trial were given numbers, and they, of course, would be the first to enter. Let me just try and bring in some people here. Lucanio, my colleague, if you don't mind. Ma'am, good morning to you. I see you've got Joshlin Onsekant on your T-shirt. What are you hoping for today, ma'am?
No.
Can I just ask you, ma'am, we are live on SABC News. You are here in support today. I see you've got a beautiful picture of Joshlin on your T-shirt. What are you hoping for today?
I just want justice for my grandchild. That's all.
Lots of people have been focusing on the accused before court, but of course we know that Joshlin is still.
No comment.
Of course, there are people at this point in time, family members also feeling extremely emotional. Somebody told me that it's her birthday today, but of course she started crying, saying that she could not sleep properly while the child was still missing. Of course, I'm not going to try and speak to anybody else because we know that the queue is moving. I'll ask Lucanio to show you. Of course, this is the entrance to what is now the High Court, sitting here at the White City Multipurpose Centre. Judgment is expected to get underway at 10 o'clock this morning, and security indeed would be as it is at any high court. Of course, people are being monitored in terms of how many are allowed to come into this hall. We know at the last count, the judge said that it was 200. But let me tell you, also on the other side of this court or of this multipurpose centre, we also still see a group of people who are waiting. Many have travelled from as far afield as Mitchell's Plain, Paarl and other parts of the Western Cape to hear this verdict in this matter. 3 accused, Kelly Smith, of course, the mother of young Joshlin, as well as the boyfriend Jacquen Appollis, Stevano van Rhyn, their friend. And then let's not forget the state's star witness in this matter, Laurentia Lombard, also a friend of theirs, and the state state then saying that her testimony, along with the corroboration of others, for example, Nico Stevens Kutsia, and as well as the police officers, saying that weaves a golden thread of truth. Of course, it will be up to Judge Nathan Erasmus this morning to determine whether indeed the state proved its case beyond reasonable doubt to the point where a conviction can be secured in this matter.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you consider that 2 of the accused have already argued that, in fact, the state didn't do that. But as you mentioned, Judge Erasmus will make the final call. Vanessa Poonah, live to us there from Saldanha Bay for now. Thanks very much indeed.